All right, well, if you live in New York City, as you know, there is currently a race going on to find out who our next mayor will be. Now, after 12 years now, geez, it amazes me just to say 12 years every time,
I know.
of the Bloomberg era, in which New York City's been great for a very few people, and has been increasingly difficult to live in for a big majority.
People who work for a living.
Yes, the people who built the city.
Yeah.
Well, this could be this mayoral race right now. We're in the primaries. Could be a referendum on the Bloomberg era. Will we say the Bloomberg era is what we want our city to be, or will we vote for someone and elect somebody who's taken a look at what Bloomberg's turned New York City into, and would like New York City to be a city for everyone who lives here? Well, according to the Daily News and the New York Times, and now the New York Post, I guess they've all decided they want that Bloomberg era to continue because they've all endorsed Christine Quinn.
Christine Quinn is the ultra establishment. She's kind of Bloomberg without the vision.
Listen, she's a Democrat. She's lesbian, so she's for LGBT issues. But you know what? Bloomberg was very good with
Bloomberg
LGBT issues.
is great on certain issues.
Those issues are no longer something that makes you a progressive. It no longer means that those issues no longer mean that you care about all the issues that most progressives do. I mean, it used to be one of those issues that gets lumped in there, and it still is an issue that, I mean, if you look at the Republican candidates in any sort of race, many times you'll find that, this is not something they're good on. It very much is a progressive issue.
Look,
but this is no longer one of those issues.
If we lived in Missouri, Christine Quinn would be a great candidate.
Yes.
But we don't. We live in a progressive, world-class city, and we could do better.
Yes. So the Daily News, the New York Daily News, the New York Times, I mean, there you go, the New York Times, if anything shows that they're not a liberal newspaper that, the right-wing media likes to, place them as, and shows that they're firmly for the establishment. I mean, endorsing Christine Quinn says a lot. I mean, according to Michael, apparently, it took them a while to put this endorsement out because there's
real disagreements. There's a lot of people on the Times editorial board that support Bill de Blasio, who's the real progressive candidate in the race.
But if anything shows why you should not vote for Christine Quinn and vote for someone like who this show has endorsed, Bill de Blasio, nothing will tell you that more than the New York Post endorsement of Christine Quinn.
Yeah.
Let me just read some of it. It is absolutely amazing. New York Post, as you know, is owned by Rupert Murdoch's News Corp, just so we can get things settled here, so you know where this is coming from. Under Rudy Giuliani, the New York Post writes, and Mayor Bloomberg, this city was transformed from a grimy, crime-ravaged urban wasteland into a safe, vibrant metropolis that continues to attract new residents and businesses. New York today is far and away the greatest city in the world, but can very easily slide back into the abyss. Now we get to the race baiting, folks. Here we go.
Here we go.
Voters must not be fooled. We can end up like Detroit faster than you can say David Dinkins.
David Dinkins, of course, was New York's African-American mayor before Mayor Giuliani. And quick fun fact, crime rates started going down under him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thugs could take over the streets once again. Where is this? And business can pack up for the suburbs. We do not want to even imagine businesses going to places in Queens or Brooklyn or Staten Island. We all know the real New York is in Manhattan.
Right.
As the real New York as in Bloomberg's, rich New York. A way of life we now consider normal is at stake, the New York Post writes. Our children's education and future is at stake. Lives are at stake! Whether we continue down the path of revitalization and renewal, big luxury condos being built.
Right.
That the rich can only afford. Or allow ourselves to be fooled into complacency and let the rot and the filth and the criminals return. We do not want those poor people or working class people or people who actually would be considered making a decent living wage in other parts of the country but can barely afford to live in New York City. We don't want those people moving back into Manhattan and other places like that. We don't want them. We don't even want them to afford living in nice Williamsburg over in Brooklyn.
No, God, no.
God, no.
Those are for trust fund kids. That's it.
New Yorkers must not be afraid to fight for the future, to get out and vote, to throw away cynicism, and dare to keep dreaming of a better city. And let me tell you, folks, if you vote for Christine Quinn, that better New York City will be nothing more than that dream.
Really quick.
That was my addition, by the way. Just want to make sure. There's a little bit more.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the Democrats, we believe Christine Quinn is the only candidate who has showed the basic common sense any mayor needs. And just to let you know how strongly they feel about Christine Quinn, they go on to basically say how much they dislike Christine Quinn. Here we go.
Christine Quinn has a Romney thing going on.
Yes.
No one really likes her, it seems like.
If we were seeing today the Christine Quinn that we saw a few years ago, this would be a much more enthusiastic endorsement. As Speaker, Quinn often showed courage and responsibility by siding with Mayor Bloomberg. Yeah, the courage.
By
the
courage and responsibility of always doing the bidding of the real estate developers, which are like the most powerful special interest in the city after Wall Street.
Christine Quinn.
Charge.
Ever since her mayoral campaign kicked in, however, she has lurched hard to the left. Ugh. Nothing more disgusting. For example, the ill-advised mandatory paid sick leave bill, which she for years courageously refused to bring to council vote, only to reverse herself last spring when she was sharply criticized by her mayoral opponents and the unions. Yuck! Nothing makes me dislike someone more than being for a mandatory paid sick leave bill. Ugh. God forbid.
Under Christine Quinn, people could take a day off when they're sick and they won't be coughing in your food. What a communist.
Similarly, she first declared unconditionally she would retain Ray Kelly as police commissioner, which the New York Post loves her for, of course. But then what? What? She is for the NYPD Inspector General? How dare she? The New York Post just wants you to know that is a unnecessary and disgusting layer of oversight. Yuck. But you may be wondering, if the New York Post doesn't like Christine Quinn so much, why are they endorsing her? Well, because when she's set against the others, New York Post writes, she shines. For example, former Comptroller Bill Thompson may be a decent man.
Maybe.
We're not quite sure. May be a decent man. And he has shown flashes of common sense. For example, he's the only Democrat to side with Madison Square Garden.
That's only the Post could that sentence even exist.
For those who don't know, the city voted that the MSG could only stay in their current location for another 10 years. Now, MSG went ahead and spent billions and billions of dollars to completely renovate the place just a year or two ago because they assumed the vote would be voted down and they would be there for forever, for eternity. Anyway, they go on. Why don't they like Bill Thompson? He's the only, he is, like they said, he's the only one who sides with Madison Square Garden. Why don't they like him? What? He has signaled an allegiance. He has signaled where his allegiances lie when he accepted the United Federation of Teachers endorsement. Oh my God! And as Bloomberg had wisely noted, the New York Post writes, if the UFT wants it, it ain't good.
It's not good at all. I don't know when Michael Bloomberg started sounding like my grandmother.
And
yeah.
Here they go on who we've endorsed, Bill de Blasio.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there's Bill de Blasio, who's pushing the tiresome class warfare theme. Yes, so tiresome. I see it every day. I'm so tired of it.
People should be able to afford to live and work in the city and take care of their children. A yawn.
He's promised.
Can you please come up with something more exciting than like kids getting a good education and people being able to pay their bills. What's the matter with you?
He's promised to jack up taxes on the rich, overload our already stressed small businesses with even more regulation, and give unlimited tax dollars to whatever left-wing interest groups ask for. What is he?
Unlimited.
Bill de Blasio is so far out of the mainstream that even the thought of him as mayor should frighten every New Yorker. Boo!
And the fact that the Post is writing this means if you're in New York, you
really
want to
vote for Bill de Blasio. And they end it with this line. A de Blasio mayoralty would be an express train right back to the bad old days of the 1970s. I mean, just look at Bill de Blasio's biracial son. He has an afro. Do we want New York City back in the old days of the 1970s where kids walked around with those hairstyles? I mean, come on, folks. I mean,
the Post didn't actually write that last part.
That was me, by the way.
I did like the way you throw that in there. Like, you were just like, and then the Post went on to say, look at Bill de Blasio's son's afro. Oh, my God, Jesus Christ, that's terrifying.
But, I mean,
that's basically
this
what they're
New York
saying.
Post endorsement for Christine Quinn is basically a New York Post endorsement for anyone with any sense to not vote for Christine Quinn. And, man, I mean,
and look at by how much they hate de Blasio.
They're not that scared of Bill Thompson when you compare it to how frightened they are of Bill de Blasio.
And I just think there are two really important points to make here. One is like this whole, because, you know, to be fair, and I think there's a lot of bigger reasons for this than just what they did. But Bloomberg has done, I think, in certain environmental areas and stuff, some good things. And obviously New York is a much, like, you know, hearing what my parents and other people tell me about New York in another era, it is a much safer, cleaner city. And the whole idea that stuff disappears when you do something to help the people who every day through their hard work make this safer, cleaner city it is. It didn't just magically pop out of Wall Street. It's across the city. And that means public workers, that means small businesses, that means middle-class people. All of the people that Bill de Blasio is talking about helping and delivering for, it's a completely erroneous view. And if we get tricked into the idea that helping take care of people and create real economic opportunity, which will only help crime go down even more, only help the city be even safer. If you think that that's a train back to like, no, but that's the whole frame. That's what Bloomberg's people are saying. That's what the Post is saying. It is an insane argument, and it cannot be stressed enough.
Who wrote this New York Post endorsement? Upper West Side Joan?